Welcome in, everybody, to the Bourbon, Buzzed, and Ballin podcast. We are your hosts, Kolby and Dut, and this podcast is about all things sports, all things bourbon, and a little bit of
something else
tasting at the end. Well, yeah, a lot in between. We like to
never know where it might go.
We like to just talk sports, mostly football, obviously.
Especially this time of the year
during football season. But we're going to talk about a wide variety of things, and then ultimately at the end, we like to sample a bourbon or two or three, and give you our own personal recommendation on that bourbon.
Yeah, today we're just going to do one. We actually had one of our listeners provide us with a bourbon. We've been begging. Send us your recommendations. Let us know what you want us to taste. We finally got one, and so we're going to try that tonight. It's a Horse Soldier, and I'll give some more information about it when we get over there. But because this was one from a listener, I wanted it to stand alone and just do this one. So
cool. We'll
talk about that when we get over to the bar later on. So
looks like we got uniforms on tonight. This was totally unplanned. It's cold down here, so I knew I was wearing my vest. But
down here in the South, it gets to be in the 40s and 50s, and it's considered cold.
It's cold.
I think a lot of people up north wouldn't necessarily agree with that take, but.
Well, we got a good time right now in sports. We got the Heisman. New Yorkers were invited tonight.
Yeah, it just came out. It's Monday night, the 5th of December, and it just came out that Stroud, Stetson Bennett, Caleb Williams,
USC,
and Max Duggan.
Yeah, from TCU.
Which we'll talk more about that after we get into the show. But that kid.
He's a warrior.
He's a baller.
He's a warrior.
Warrior's a good term for it. But before we dive into the topics, we like to start our show off with an opening toast. So let's start there. Let's start with the opening toast. I'll go ahead and start. You said we like to talk about football, but every chance I get, I like to inject a little hockey into the conversation. Just little teasers,
Man, we probably got some Canadians watching.
Of course. A
few Yankees.
And we've actually got some European followers.
That's
and
right.
Hockey's big over there. So
yeah.
Anyway, Alex Ovechkin, who's 37 years old. He's had a 17-year career so far. He just set the new record for the most road goals in a season. So Wayne Gretzky held the record. Obviously. Anytime you break a Gretzky record, you've done something.
If there's a record to be had, it's usually Gretzky's name attached
Exactly.
to it.
So it was 402, and Ovechkin actually scored 2 goals in their last road game to go up to 403. So he's now the record holder, and he's also chasing 800. So he's at 780 right now. So he's scored, I think, 13 goals on the year. And he only needs 20 more, which for him is very, very attainable.
Sure.
To get to 800, which is, we talked about the baseball home run milestones in earlier podcasts. So, this will be something we can keep an eye on. Is Ovechkin. The all-time goals record is 894. So Ovechkin would probably have to play another 3 seasons to reach that. But at 37, it's possible.
It's possible. His game, it's possible for sure.
And then second is Gordie Howe at 801. So he definitely should be able to move into no worse than second.
Yeah.
But depending on how many more years he's got left in him, and he's still playing at a high level.
801's out there.
It is.
801 is out there.
Yeah, definitely. So that's going to be my toast tonight is Ovi, the great 8.
I like Ovechkin. He's always fun to watch. Good
sniper.
I mean,
he's as a Rangers fan, he's broke my heart many a times. Him and Henrik Lundqvist used to be a great matchup, but it seems like he always would get King Henrik on the high side.
Sure. So he's a good one.
But no, I do a lot of respect for Alex Ovechkin as a competitor. So who you got? Who's your toast?
I actually got 2, man. I'm gonna give 2 out. I'm gonna go ahead and as rough as I've been on Auburn, I felt like I needed to give Auburn a little bit of love. And
you have been a little rough on our Tigers down on the plains.
Well, there's a reason for that, and they've earned my ridicule. But Bo Jackson, the greatest Tiger of all time.
Hell, maybe the greatest athlete
of
all time, which a lot of people were robbed of really being able to enjoy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he actually turned 60, if you can believe that. Bo Jackson turned 60. 5.4 average yard per carry. It's tied with Jim Brown.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, like you just mentioned, his career was cut short
way too short
by a hip. But you know what's cool? I mean, obviously he played 2 sports. We all know the Bo Jackson story. But he actually, I didn't forgot this. He actually returned back to Major League Baseball after an artificial hip.
Yeah, I went and watched him play in the minor leagues.
Well, he actually made it back to the bigs.
Did you not go to that game with me?
I don't think so.
It was in Birmingham. He played for the Barons.
Right. I saw Michael Jordan play.
Yeah, but I went and saw Bo, and it was painful to watch because I knew what a great athlete he was, and to watch him lumber trying to go just from home to first base.
Right. Yeah.
It was sad. It was sad.
Especially for him with the reported 4.18, or is it 1.2? I think it's 4.18 reported.
There's no official time out there to go by, but
we could talk all day about the things that we saw Bo Jackson do. But anyway, I'm toasting Bo Jackson.
Okay.
Turned 60. I got a lot of respect for Bo.
Same,
for sure.
Yep.
And then I think we'd be remiss if we didn't mention Will Anderson, SEC Defensive Player of the Year.
Unanimous.
And you know, Big Will, we appreciate everything that you did. I enjoyed watching you. I hated that it came to an end the way it has.
Wasn't quite the season we expected, but
I don't think we see you. I don't think we see you in the bowl game.
Yeah, I think it's probably a best business decision for Will and for Bryce.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
With not being able to play for a national championship, I think it's time for them to focus on their pro careers.
Yeah, especially both are pretty much widely considered top 5 picks.
Yeah, so absolutely. So don't risk that with an injury.
I definitely don't think either of them hurt their cause at top 5. So
no.
Anyway, that's who I'm toasting.
Yes. So Will Anderson, the Terminator, Bo Jackson. And the grade 8, Alex Ovechkin.
Some great ones.
Cheers. Guys.
That's good.
What you sipping on tonight, Dut?
Ezra 99.
Ooh, Ezra 99. You're bound and determined to polish those bottles off, ain't you?
I am. I'm gaining a healthy respect for Ezra. We were a little bit disappointed in them on the review.
Well,
but
sometimes you revisit them. And
you might change.
Taste is a little different the next time.
Could have been a little sick when I did it the first time, but it's still a mixer. I'm drinking it neat tonight.
Drinking it neat, but it's still rated as a mixer.
It's still a mixer to me.
Well, I'm actually drinking one that we rated as on the rocks just last week.
Oh, okay.
So I've got
one of the
single barrel.
Yeah, single barrel.
Single barrel Jefferson's Reserve. The other one, it was definitely a mixer, so I didn't want to drink it neat.
Yeah, clearly was.
So tonight I'm drinking the Jefferson's Reserve single barrel from last week. It's good. It's nice and smooth.
Yeah, those ought to get us through tonight.
Yeah, and like I said, then I'm looking forward to. I've heard a lot of great things about the Horse Soldier. There's 3 of them in the line, and so we're going to start out with the premium tonight.
That's right.
And
stay tuned for the end because it's a good story.
Yeah, I've got the whole backstory about how the company started.
Sweet. Moving to scumbags, huh?
Move on over to from the good to the bad. So let's go with the scumbags. I'm going to start here because I got a serious piece of shit that I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on. But my scumbag of the week is University of Florida quarterback Jalen Kitna, who was just arrested. Well, actually, he was arrested, and now he's released into his parents' custody. And his dad is actually John Kitna, former NFL quarterback.
Yep.
But he's got 5 charges of child pornography. So anybody that does shit like that is definitely a scumbag to me, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. So I'll let you go to yours.
Well, I'm gonna end on this one. I mean, it's just, you got the world in the palm of your hand. You got a D1 scholarship, Florida, tons of resources, and this is what you are.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yep.
We'll talk a little bit about Deion Sanders at the end of this today as
we,
well. And,
we got some
and
we got some Coach Prime coming up.
Some of the stuff that he's talked about in that same vein, same respect. How can these kids allow themselves to let all of that fall through their fingers? But anyway, that's a good scumbag.
Oh yeah.
I got a scumbag. I got former Panther coach Matt Rule. I think he's been making the rounds through some podcasts and
if he knew then what he knows now, he wouldn't have taken the job.
No, I know, and he would have clearly made a bigger splash trade because he has that capability. He's blaming the Panthers for all of the failures, and the dude had 51% control of the decision making and says he had no decision in the draft. Come on, man.
He's trying to save face. He's going to a new job. He's trying to
exactly go to your new job, move on, move out, leave Carolina in the back, and you don't have to say no more.
Right.
Your other guy got released today.
That was your guy.
Well, he wasn't my guy, but I was defending him. Not my guy. I would have never traded for the fool.
You was awful high on him in the preseason.
Well, when we picked him up,
and by him I'm talking about Baker Mayfield.
Yeah,
I wasn't even going to take that jab at him.
I was high on him
he
because
he knew it was coming.
I'm trying to search. I was trying to search for a reason to get the Panthers into the playoffs.
Well, Baker may be the new quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers to come tomorrow.
I wouldn't if I were there.
Oh no, Brock Purdy looked good. He looked pretty good.
I like that. He did look pretty good.
But boom.
But anyway, and how does Rule? I realize he did okay at Temple and Baylor.
Yeah, he did.
And now he gets $9 million more dollars. This dude's like a snake oil salesman, man. And he's so bad. He's so bad in the press conferences. He was horrible.
Well, it's like, which coach is it? Auburn's coach. Auburn's new coach. He had to relinquish all his social media.
No doubt.
Lane Kiffin called him out. He's like, I would text you, but you can't text back. Right. Or not text you, Twitter you.
Yeah, so they don't trust him.
Yeah,
they don't trust him. Yet they hired him. But that's a whole. Let's back on.
Wait, we were going to be nice to Auburn tonight. Remember?
I know, right? Well, no,
sorry, Bo.
We haven't forgiven you on that one, Auburn. But Rule, let's back on Rule. Bo Pelini won 9 games at Nebraska and got fired. Mm-hmm. So Matt Rule ain't gonna win no more than that.
Right.
So anyway, Matt Rule. He's my scumbag, man, because leave the Panthers out your mouth, dude. Drive on.
Yeah, move next.
Build your little cornfield university.
Well, also, Steve Wilkes has got him in the playoff hunt. So, he's got that hanging over his head, too, that,
sure.
Now that he's gone, they've done better.
They have done better. Without C-Mac. Traded away their best player, arguably.
Yeah, and cut their amazing quarterback.
Exactly. Amazing. I did not.
We'll have to review the tape.
We'll review the tape. I was making the best of what happened.
I don't think you said amazing, but I got to take some jabs at you.
All right.
Well, let's get off these scumbags because these are definitely 2 scumbags that don't deserve any more of our breath.
What you want to talk about first?
You talked about Coach Prime. There's a lot of action going on in coaching. College coaching. Carousel is spinning at full speed right now. You got Coach Prime. I think last week I mentioned Colorado. Somebody said, no way he's going to Colorado.
Didn't see it coming.
But so then you got him going to Colorado. You got Luke Fickell leaves Cincinnati to go to Wisconsin. That opens a job at Cincinnati. Scott Satterfield leaves Louisville for Cincinnati.
He got a losing record?
I think he's like 25 and 24. He's barely above 500.
Look, Fickell grew that program.
And you know how he told his players he was leaving? FaceTime.
Satterfield did.
Some of the assistant
and Deion. I got nothing to, man. I love Deion Sanders, man. We'll talk about Deion when we get to it. But are we talking about Deion now?
Yeah, we can. Let me finish up my take on Satterfield because you want to talk about awkward. Guess who Louisville is playing in a bowl?
Yeah,
Cincinnati. So that's the Fenway Bowl on December 17th. So yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Which will probably send the dominoes falling to Purdue. You know, Purdue played in the Big Ten championship,
right?
With I can't remember Purdue's coach now.
Yeah,
he was quarterback for Louisville.
My mind just went blank because you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not Lebo.
No. I was thinking of Browning Nagel. But it's not.
It ain't that.
Anyway, Purdue's coach is. I mean, I could see him
going to Louisville.
That's what
I mean, going from Louisville to Cincinnati. Yes, Cincinnati is moving into the Big 12, so it's not really a step back, but it's definitely a lateral move. I mean, Louisville. You know, Lamar Jackson. I mean, Louisville's got Heisman winners.
Jeff Brom,
that's it.
It was bugging me.
See, I had the Jeff part, and that's where I was thinking Jeff Lebo, but
yeah, it was bugging
Lebo was basketball, wasn't he?
Man, I don't know. You know,
Anyway.
Once the camera's rolling,
I know you
names,
start having these brain farts.
I forget.
But
names.
yeah, so some of the assistant coaches found out on Twitter, just like the rest of us did.
That's gutless.
I mean, yeah,
that's gutless.
Yeah, he's catching some hell.
That's gutless. You've gone into those kids' living rooms, convinced their parents to send their kid to you.
Yep.
And that's all the
and
respect
you're gonna
you have.
You're gonna
that's
be a coward.
Gutless.
And if it wasn't for that Florida kid, he might have been my scumbag of the week for the way he handled the whole situation.
Yeah, that's terrible.
All right, let's jump back on to Prime.
Man, I love Deion Sanders. I follow him on all of his socials. I mean, just the way he's got to be one of the best orators I've ever listened to. The dude, I mean, I'd run through a brick wall for him. You know, he met with his kids, Jackson State.
Jackson State, yep.
He met with them, told them what he was going to do.
Yep.
You know, he was straight up. I mean, tell me, number one, he left Jackson State in a much better situation.
Oh, absolutely. Well, the whole
conference.
Yeah.
The whole HBCU
yep.
has been elevated
yep.
on Deion Sanders' name,
yep.
and he's catching too much hell.
Well, and even Shiloh, you know, how you say his other
Shador?
son? Shador is going with him.
Yeah.
And so is Hunter.
Yeah, Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter, they're both going. But Shiloh, his other son that plays defense, is not happy about the move. And he's actually considering staying at Jackson State because he feels like he's, started something there. He wants to see it through. And I respect that.
You can do nothing but respect it. And Deion respects
exactly.
that.
You don't have to follow Dad out to Colorado. But yeah, no. And when he met with the Colorado players, he let them know.
He put them on notice.
Yeah, if you're not going to put in the work, get in the portal.
Guess what, Colorado? He's coming.
Oh yeah,
that's what he said. I'm coming. Well, I thought one of the things he said was, "I'm coming and I'm bringing luggage and it's Louis," because he's bringing some studs with him.
Oh yeah,
he's already convinced an A&M kid to transfer.
Yeah, well, and Trey,
not transfer but decommit.
And Trey Sanders,
yeah,
the Alabama running back. He said, "Hey, you got room for me, Unc?"
Yeah. Hey, I think that would be a good landing spot. I think.
Yeah, I would like to see Trey go out there.
I personally last week did not. I thought he would pass it up, but now that I've watched all of his videos, I watched his tour.
Give him a couple years, he's going to own the Pac-12.
Well, I mean, that's not hard to do.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
That's not hard to do. You threw me for curveball. I was like, Pac-12? Oh, yeah, that's right. They are.
I know. It doesn't seem like Colorado should be in the Pac-12. But
right. Yeah, no, I mean, I think this is what, to me, I think motivated him. He took that job. I thought he would wait for a shiny, beautiful object, but he didn't. He jumped at one that he could build.
And this is another stepping stone.
Yeah.
He's not trying to go from down here to up here. His next step would be maybe going to the NFL or going to a bigger, like you said, shiny.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he would wait around for Florida State.
Hell, I wouldn't mind. He's now in on my wish list at Bama. Right. Him and Kiffin are my top two choices to follow Saban.
I tell you what, man, he says the right things, and I mean, he truly cares about his kids. The thing about Prime is you can't say anything about him because he's been there, done that. He's exceeded at every level,
right,
including Major League Baseball.
Yep.
So I mean, he's walked the walk, and now he's talking the talk, and I have the utmost respect for him. I love him. I love him so much I named my fantasy team after him
Yeah,
decades ago because I knew the dude was good. Anyway, enough about that. What else you want to talk about? You want to talk about the playoff picture?
Yeah, let's talk about the playoffs. So you got Georgia versus Ohio State. That's going to be in the
ugly.
Peach. That's going to be in the Peach, and that'll probably be about like the SEC championship was.
No Jackson Smith Najigba.
Yeah, he opted out. Of course, he hadn't played all year anyway, but, you still would have thought it's the playoffs, it's a chance to play for a natty, but no, he opted out.
Ohio's OC today.
Yeah, he took. I've got
Tulsa.
on my notes somewhere. Was it Tulsa?
Tulsa.
Okay.
Now he's going to stay. He's going to stay with Ohio
Right.
State through the playoffs. But is he going to be distracted? We've seen that at Bama.
Yes, we have.
Many a time.
Yeah. Now there were some other OCs that took head coaching jobs. I didn't have the Ohio State guy, but NC State's OC took the Coastal Carolina job.
And their quarterback entered the transfer portal.
I couldn't. Yeah, I figured we'd talk about some of the big. So it being December 5th, the portal opened today, and there was a few surprises in there. I figured we'd talk about that after we.
Gotcha.
Talked a little bit about the games coming up. So
Michigan.
you got Michigan
TCU.
against TCU.
I think that's going to be a good game.
It should be a closer game than the Georgia Ohio State game, but I still think it's UGA versus Michigan.
Well, that makes me happy. I mean, I think UGA is probably clearly, going to be double. I wouldn't be surprised if they're double-digit favorites in both games.
Well, actually, they're only a 7-point favorite on the opening line.
I'd be surprised if I was right about that prediction. Thanks for shooting me down in front of.
Well, I heard it today. That's why it was just fresh on my mind.
I don't look at that stuff until late. I mean, I'm thinking they're going to be
it'll probably move, but yeah, it opened at 7, which shocked me. I figured it'd be higher than that. And this is the first time that you've got the 4 playoff teams and you don't have either Alabama or Clemson.
Oh yeah,
it's the first time both of them missed out. Because the one other, well, actually Clemson's missed. This is their 3rd time missing it. This is Bama's 2nd time missing it. But the other times they missed it, the other one was still in it. So, and we also got word last week that they have now officially passed that the playoffs are going to expand to 12 teams after the 2024 season.
Yeah.
So we got one this year and one more year.
I thought it was the 24.
Nah, well, this is actually considered the 22 season.
Okay.
Next year's the 23 season.
So one more of 4 team, and then
we'll have the 12. Yes, and this year would have been a great year for the 12.
They'd have had us against USC.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been pretty sweet. I'm actually okay. I'm okay with. I mean, I didn't want us to back into this.
No.
Because I didn't think we were worthy.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
We weren't worthy.
Now, I do think we had a legitimate argument because of how bad Ohio State got beat at home.
Sure.
But
TCU.
Well, I think if TCU would have got blown out by Kansas State, I think they would have been out.
TCU, I predicted they would stay at 3rd. I predicted the Final 4 correctly.
Yeah, so did
in the right order. So I'm okay with Bama not getting in. I
kind of wish though they would have put Clemson in the Sugar Bowl with us.
I'm surprised they didn't.
We got to play Kansas State, which that'll be kind of a good measure. And although we're probably going to have our best players opt out, so that kind of takes away from it also.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at our recruiting, I mean, our top 10 players opt out. We should still have the depth to play with
we've got
State.
the depth, but those depth players don't have the experience.
Sure.
But, no, I'm excited about it. I want to see Ty Simpson at quarterback. I want to see Jalen Milroe. I want to see the future.
Sure.
So I think this actually works out to be a plus. Some of these kids that are going to have to step up next year.
Yeah, we'll get to see
They're going to get a dress rehearsal.
Prime time
on New Year's Eve,
game time rather than A-Day.
So yeah, I'm excited about it. I hope they work their asses off. And
I mean, if we with the way we looked, I didn't want to eke into the playoffs.
Right.
I think this is going to be good. I think this is a hard reset for Coach Saban.
Right. And
the program, and I like what happens when he gets a hard reset. When he
every time the dynasty is dead,
or when he revamped from the speed of the game, he revamped from a boring offense to a quarterback-driven offense.
Right.
We've always overcome and come out on top.
And now you've got the transfer portal is a huge part of the games. I mean, we can go ahead and start talking about the transfer portal. I mean, and if you look back at the two teams that beat Alabama this year, they were both led by transfer quarterbacks.
Yeah, yeah.
So the transfer portal, it's redesigned how you have to build your roster. And it's if you can't adapt, you will get left behind. Yeah. And that's what I think Brian Kelly and Josh Heupel, especially Josh Heupel, he was able to come in and change that roster around and change the culture and fill the holes, and boom, he's got a winner. So that's what it's going to take. And you got, USC. Yeah, they fell short, but they were driven by Caleb Williams, Jordan Addison coming over in the transfer portal. Deion is going to have, like I said, he might have Colorado competitive next year.
Well, they were 1-11, so
I mean they're definitely going to be better. But I'm saying they might compete.
Well, they're gonna change overnight just with Shedeur at quarterback.
Yeah. And then what he's going to be able to pull out of the transfer portal and recruiting. 2 years tops, he's competing for the Pac-12 championship. And like I said, there's a chance he might be knocking on that door next year.
Yeah, you got a list of.
Well, I threw down some of the names as they were popping up so fast today. It was hard to.
Right.
But you got at quarterback, probably the two biggest names are Devin Leary at NC State. That shocked me.
I mean, he's been there forever.
Yeah.
I guess.
I think he wants maybe to try to go somewhere where he can win and maybe improve his pro stock. And then, of course, DJ Uiagalelei from Clemson, which saw that coming. We talked about that a couple episodes ago that he was going to have to go somewhere and get a reset.
That was a foregone conclusion on that one.
Some of the top running backs, Carson Steele at Ball State, Thaddeus Franklin Jr. from Miami, L.J. Johnson at A&M, and then the name of the transfer portal, Kentucky running back Cavassier Smoke.
Cavassier. I wonder what he was named after.
But it's not. It's spelled like you would pronounce it.
Right, but I mean, still, come on, man.
But I love that name. That's
Cavassier.
That's the name of the transfer portal right there. Cavassier Smoke. A couple big name wide receivers. Theo Weiss from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Lovett. Dominic Lovett.
There was so many. I didn't have a chance to even start researching on their recruiting. Who was second and third on their list?
Yeah. Like there's some that like the kid from Indiana, the edge rusher Dason McCullough, who was the highest ranked Indiana recruit in history. There is some talent out there. E.J. Williams from Clemson, the wide receiver.
The linebacker from Oregon that we were so high on
Flo.
early. Yeah, Flo.
Yeah, he's entering.
Where he was entering.
Yeah, I mean,
this is just a prediction of what's to come. I mean, it's going to be.
It's college football's free agency.
Yeah, you almost can't. You almost have to hold back on your signing class out of high school to keep room.
Well, and that's why they changed the window. It's 45 days from today, December 5th. There's a 45-day window. Now, grad transfers were able to get in sooner.
Right.
But underclassmen, they couldn't enter the portal till today, and now they can. Now it's a 45-day window. So that does kind of let the coaches know
who
they're getting, and then because you're only allowed 85 scholarships, so
right.
You got to be able to stay under that number. So I think it'll help but it's going to be chaos.
Yeah, Michigan's number one tight end, Eric All.
Yeah, I saw that. He
announced about a week ago that he was coming back.
Oh, did he?
He was coming back to Michigan, because he's been injured since week 2.
Right.
But because of Loveland, the emergence of this freshman tight end at Michigan, all of a sudden he pops up in a transfer today. So I'm guessing Harbaugh told him, "Hey, it's going to be."
Well, and there's also like you said, Harbaugh told him, And that's some of the stuff that the general public doesn't see that's going on behind the scenes. You know, like we were talking when Trayshawn Holden from Alabama announced, and I said, you know, that's not going to be a big loss. I mean, he's rated as one of the better ones in the portal, but coming back next year, he was going to be 4th or 5th string at best. So I'm sure, you know, he already was passed by 2 freshmen this year, since the beginning of the season. So these kids, you know, and
they can see the writing.
They
on
can
the
see
wall.
it, and they go to the coach and staff, and the coaches are honest with them, and you know, because coaches want what's best for these kids. So there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes where, you know, because it is a numbers game.
Right.
The one that surprised me that came out yesterday, I think it was Sunday, was Javion Cohen.
I know.
Who started 10 games at left guard for that, but he was starting, but he was only playing the first 2 series, and then they were putting Booker in.
Yeah.
So Booker, so I think, and you know, he also had some dealings with some mental health issues. So I'm wondering if that also played into the role. That
might be transferring somewhere a little
less
stressful.
Stressful, yes, exactly. So.
Yeah, and it's funny on social media. You see all the negativity from opposing fan bases when you have a mass exodus like it appears we've had.
Well, actually, we've only had 9 enter right now.
I know, but that's a lot.
Well, we had 18 last year.
That's a lot.
Not really. I mean, and I think you're going to see every team is going to have double digits because the kids are wanting to play now.
And that's what I've been telling like Georgia fans for a couple of years now. The more classes, number 1, number 2, number 3 classes you continue to sign, you're piling up 5 and 4 stars. You no longer have much room for 3 stars anyway.
And those kids are used to being the stars.
Sure,
they're used to being the studs.
Of them can play.
Not everybody can sit and wait their turn. It takes a special person to be able to sit and wait their. I mean, look at Mac Jones. You know,
right.
Brian Robinson.
Yeah.
That's, you know, for them to stay in the program that long and wait their turn.
For their 1 year.
For their 1 year. But then
it paid off.
They're millionaires.
Yeah, it paid off.
It's just a different animal.
And I even heard I don't know why when the camera's rolling. What's the North Carolina quarterback?
Drake May.
Drake May. He flirted with the transfer portal. He made a veiled tweet, and I think as the story's developing, he's actually pushing for NIL money. He's trying to force North Carolina.
So now they're playing their leverages.
Exactly. That this transfer portal is now a leverage as well for some of these
make more money.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Cool. That's all I have on the transfer portal stuff. You know, as far as the college playoffs go, I mean, bowl season is ugly to me. I was looking at all the games, and I mean, I think anything outside of the playoffs, or maybe the Orange Bowl, Peach Bowl, the Sugar Bowl.
I like the Tennessee Clemson Orange Bowl.
Yeah.
But you know, has it lost some of its luster because Hendon Hooker's not?
I think Joe Milton is shown that he's capable.
Right. Yeah, but I still would have liked to seen him with Hooker playing. Yeah, I mean, outside of the 4 playoff games and then the Sugar Bowl and the Orange Bowl. I mean, even
ain't nobody cares about any of these other bowl games if it's not your team.
Right.
I mean, honestly, do you watch the Weed Eater Poulan Bowl? I mean, really? No. I mean, what do you watch that?
Nah. The only games I'm gonna watch are the playoffs, the Sugar Bowl, and probably the Orange Bowl, just because Tennessee Clemson matchup.
I'm not starved for football at this point.
Right. Nah, and you still got the NFL. You know, will be in getting towards playoff season there. So
the 12-team playoff will certainly salvage bowl season. You know, and make it more relevant again. All the major bowls.
Yeah. Well, and even Nick said that when they first put in the 14 playoff, that it was gonna
ruin bowls.
And
he was right.
And like you said, other than the fans of that team, nobody else really cares.
Really don't, man. It's some boring matchups, and especially with the whole opting out thing now, it's really lost a lot of luster.
Well, speaking of opting, Anthony Richardson
Yes.
is opting to go to the NFL. I don't see that one.
I think he's got bust written all over him personally. I know he's a big kid, fast kid, twitchy kid, got a big arm.
Yeah.
But he's so raw. He's so raw. I could see him being a huge bust for sure. And I mean, he's being mocked in the first round.
Yeah,
there was some.
Yeah, there
not
was
on all.
earlier in the season. It was he had a little more momentum with it, but after the season he's had, I think he's lost a lot of that. the shine has come off of that.
Yeah, he's definitely making a mistake. But Florida's hot garbage, man. So
Right.
So I mean, that's why he's jumping ship. What else you got? What else you got in college football?
I don't really have anything else in college football.
What did you think of Saban's halftime speech? And you didn't see it, did you?
You talking about on the Fox Network?
Yeah, on the big championship.
I didn't see it, but because I had the game on, but I didn't have any volume on, so I didn't see it and didn't hear it. I saw some of the shit that came out today about him catching hell about trying to weasel his way or campaign. Hell, he's doing his job.
That's what I say. I mean,
he's the coach of Alabama, and so what if he's lobbying for them to get in? That's his job. He's trying to.
It was a weak lobby, and I think it was a weak lobby because he was there. He didn't want to be there.
Right.
He didn't want to do that, but I think he's obligated to go on and do that kind of stuff.
Well, I saw Ryan Day the day before on College Game Day.
Right.
Lobbying for his team.
I mean,
so that's what a coach should do. If my coach is on there and he's not doing that, I got a problem with that. I don't got a problem with him saying, "Yeah, we deserve it," this, and giving the reasons. I mean, he's campaigning. Hey,
and
we lost 2 by this, and Bryce was hurt, and we've been inconsistent all year. We don't deserve to be in, but it's his job to try to get us in there.
Why not?
That's why he gets paid millions, is to get us in the playoffs.
And he made the statement that if we were in, who would you think would be the favorite?
Exactly. Well, and even Vegas.
And he's right.
Even Vegas, before the playoffs were announced, the only team that would be favored over us was Georgia.
Yeah. And in fact, Georgia, is the only team in recent history that we've been an underdog to.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go all the way back to 2009 and then 2008 for the rest of Saban's time where we were underdogs.
Right.
So he's not wrong about what he said.
No, what he said was 100% true. And and that's why I say, we probably had the argument that we are the third best team. And they always say, well, we want the best teams. It's not. But, like I said, I'm glad we're not in there.
The committee got it right.
Yeah.
The committee, outside of Ohio State, I'm a little peeved about that one, but that was mainly due to the rest of the teams stubbing their toes.
Right.
I'm more pissed at USC for choking than I am at Ryan Day's Buckeyes because, I mean, they've had a good season. I get it, but I'm more pissed at USC for choking against Utah.
Well, we talked a little bit when we were talking about the 4 Heisman finalists about Max Duggan.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Max a little bit. That kid, he's fun to watch.
He is fun to watch.
And he put that team on his back and carried them almost to exhaustion.
Oh, he was, and
I'm talking
they
like
ran him again.
I know. And then the 2-point conversion.
How could they call him? I mean, you could see after that long run that he had nothing in the tank.
He was gassed.
And they called his number again, and he ran it in.
And then he's trying to. After that, he's trying to leave the field. And all his teammates are trying to congratulate him. He's like, "Get away from me! I need to breathe."
Where was the field? Where were the trainers with the oxygen?
I don't think they had any.
I mean, they should have had it right.
I don't think they had any on the sideline, or they would have got it to him.
He's a warrior.
He is. I'm a fan of his.
He's a warrior. He's good. I like him. He reminds. You know who he reminds me of? Mahomes. Kind of reminds me of a Mahomes, just improvising, making things happen.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a stretch.
Yeah,
I mean,
little
I'm
bit.
just saying on
Right.
Just,
I was thinking maybe more like a Big Ben in his younger days.
well, he's big. He's not that big.
Yeah, he's pretty big. No, he's not as big as Big Ben, but
He's faster.
I mean,
Way faster than
he's
Big Ben.
faster, but he's hard to take down like Big Ben
Yeah.
was. You know, people would just bounce off of Big Ben.
I don't even know what his size is. What is his size? Let's look that up.
He's pretty stout.
You talk amongst yourselves while I look that up.
I tell you, another beast on the opposite end of the size spectrum from that game.
Oh man, he's awesome, man. What's
Deuce
his name?
Vaughn.
Deuce Vaughn, man.
That's Darren Sproles 2.0 right there.
6'2", 209. See,
He's only 209?
Yeah, he's not a big dude.
He seems bigger than that.
Right.
Maybe because he's got all them pads and
I get it.
elbow brace. You know, he was bleeding from all different.
Every elbow was gashed. No, Deuce Vaughn is, man, pound for pound. That's another Eckler.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I said Darren Sproles, because Darren Sproles was a
Yeah.
K-State dude. So.
Yeah, but Eckler is pound for pound like the strongest dude.
Oh yeah, they
know?
said he squats 445 and threw up 225. What did they say, 17 times?
Now he
or something
squatted.
like that?
Deuce Vaughn squatted 475 12 times.
Yeah.
Because that was my max in high school, which I thought was good.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a lot of pounds, but he did it 12 times.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
what's his size?
He's 5'6". I
Yeah.
don't know his weight, but he's 5'6".
Yeah, he's awesome, man. He's awesome. I'm impressed with K-State. I mean, they're on their third string quarterback.
I think it's their second one because I think what was it, Martinez?
Yeah, Adrian, the 38-year-old quarterback, 5'6", 176.
And 176 is probably a stretch.
That's generous, isn't it? Yeah, he's awesome.
He's a beast.
He is. He's one of them kids that just exceeds.
And that's going to be fun. That's who we're playing in the bowl. That's who Bama's playing in the bowl. So it's going to be fun. And you get Duggan in the other game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I get to see some high quality kids playing. I mean, I've always appreciated K-State back in the Snyder days.
Yeah.
Yeah, so K-State's not going to be an easy punch out, man.
I can see us losing that game.
Yeah,
I really
me
could.
too. Me too.
I could easily see us losing that game because, like I said, we're going to be without a few of our starters.
Pretty decent quarterback.
Yeah, and they got some talent on that team.
Yeah.
So it's going to be. I'm looking for. I was actually, and I've heard ticket prices are pretty low. So
Really?
So I was kind of like, New Orleans on New Year's Eve.
We can fly to New Orleans cheap too.
Yeah. So it was tempting. I hadn't decided yet, but would possibly be a fun one to go see.
We could fly to New Orleans pretty cheap. Anyway.
Getting sidetracked a little bit.
Yeah,
there.
getting sidetracked.
But yeah, no,
I'm not working right now.
big fan of Max. I hate that he's playing your boys because I'd like to see I'd like to see Michigan win it all. But I when I was talking today about who I thought would win the Heisman, and Stroud, he's had some big games against some weak competition, but he hasn't really done good against good competition.
And Caleb Williams
didn't
look good in his last.
Came up small in the championship. I might have to go with Max.
I could get on. I mean, the Heisman this year is the most
Wide open.
You can't possibly guess.
I mean, hell, Stetson might sneak in there and snatch it.
Early on, I had Stetson on my Heisman early on, and I still feel Stetson deserved a trip to New York. So I'm glad he got a trip because I have a lot of respect for that kid too. So I just like the way he plays. I like the swagger he has and the believability. It just makes you believe in him. So I like him. I could see him winning it. And this year, I mean, honestly, like you said, Stroud is the best player at New York. He's a very strong arm. He's accurate, but he's put up numbers against nobody.
Yeah.
And flopped against, not really flopped, but had struggles against good competition. Yeah. Caleb Williams, I mean, he too he puts up circus numbers in an offense that always puts up circus numbers.
That's what Lincoln Riley does.
I know.
I mean,
He get, you know, if you want to win a Heisman Trophy,
go play for
sign
Lincoln.
with Lincoln Riley for sure.
Yep.
You might not win nothing.
Right. You come close.
Yeah, and I think USC obviously is going to be a tough program to punch out next year. But I think the Heisman's up for grabs. I like Duggan. I think he won a lot of respect and votes.
Yeah.
In the Big 12 championship.
It's gonna be interesting to see who pulls it.
Yeah.
But so yeah, a couple of big signings in baseball.
Yeah.
Verlander.
Yeah.
Signed with the Mets.
Turner.
And Trey Turner signed with the Phillies. The Phillies, that lineup the Phillies got.
Yeah, they got better.
Yeah. If they can, that pitching, I'd like to see them sign one more pitcher, and then they really.
Maybe they got something in the minor league system that's ready to come in and do something. Of course, if they did, he would have been on the playoff roster anyway.
Right. And the Judge is still floating out there. He hadn't. I think the Yankees have. Last I heard, it was between the Yankees and the Giants, and that the Giants said they will not be outbid. So I thought we were going to hear something by the end of this past week, but apparently he's still trying to decide.
I like the Verlander signing. I mean, I'd like to see the Mets.
Well, they lost DeGrom,
right? And I think
that helps fill that
fill that void.
But is it too little, too late? Bringing in Verlander at this point in his career with Scherzer
he's
at this
not
point,
going to put up the numbers,
right? And you got Scherzer at this. They might as well go get Clayton Kershaw, and then they'll have the best pitching staff from the '80s.
Yeah, from the '80s. That's a stretch.
Okay, I might have gone back a little too far.
They might have the best geriatric.
I'm at 2008
geriatric staff for sure. First round ballot Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Speaking of Hall of Fame, Fred McGriff, Crime Dog.
He
Hall of Fame, yeah.
He
got in.
I didn't see that.
Got in.
And who else went in?
That's it.
Just the
I
Crime
think
Dog.
So, just the Crime Dog.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up. I didn't even see any news about that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, the World Cup is going on. Look, Brazil's looking pretty stout.
Yeah.
The U.S. they just couldn't handle the Netherlands. I'm proud of them for getting to the elimination round. They got to the Sweet 16, but they just didn't have enough firepower for Netherlands.
We're young.
Yeah.
The second youngest team, 23-year-old captain. Awesome in the midfield. We had an excellent midfield. I mean, young, clamp down dudes. We just have no. I mean, number one, we pass too much when we got the ball in the box.
Well, and they screw up the passes.
I know. It's
a 2-on-1, and they kick it to the other team.
This is what it is. This is what I think it is. It's lack of creativity off the ball. We have zero creativity off the ball. You watch any European or the Hispanic teams. You watch their players off the ball as they're passing. There's two more moving in a choreographic way. Mm-hmm. It's like they just understand how to move off the ball, and we don't look like we have that creativity.
Yeah.
And we got the speed. We got the players.
Athletes.
Yeah. I mean, one thing we didn't have against Netherlands is, man, I've never thought I would ever say this about a U.S. athlete, but we lacked size.
Oh yeah. Definitely compared to those Giants they had on defense.
Jeez, they just bodied us. It was good though. But my number 1B team looked really good out the gate yesterday. So England looks good. So hopefully England can take home the cup. That's who I pull for typically because the U.S. is not there. But yeah, France is going to be a tough one. That's going to be a good one.
France and Brazil. Of course, Argentina, don't count them out.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, Portugal's got a little bit of trouble in-house right now. They seem to be arguing, but it's going to be a decent semifinal.
All right, what else you got?
That's really the highlights, man. I really don't have nothing from the NFL. I mean,
nah. I mean,
Cowboys look good.
Yeah, the Cowboys look really good, and I think the Jeff Saturday experiment has that clock has struck 12.
That dude can't manage the damn game, can he?
Hell no. Now, this week, I mean, you're down 20 in the fourth quarter, and you still got Matt Ryan in there at quarterback. I mean, And Jonathan Taylor, you trying to ruin his career?
Yeah,
I know you don't want to say, okay, let's live to fight another day. You want to go down swinging, but at some point you got to realize. I mean, and then you just keep throwing interceptions, it was ugly. It was ugly. And
they were out of that game, so.
Yeah. Nah. It seems like everybody likes him and respects him, but I mean, there's a reason that typically you don't hire somebody off the street to be an NFL head coach.
Yeah, and it's it's a lot different when you're on the sideline. Armchair quarterbacks, it's easy to know when to call timeouts, but when you're actually in the flow flow of the game.
The week before, he really botched the timeouts at the end of the game. That cost them potentially the game.
He went in with timeouts, and it was really horrible. So, I think, the NFL, the Chiefs still look good, even though they struggled.
San Fran looked good.
San Fran's starting to look good again.
It's gonna be interesting to see with them losing Jimmy G. Now, Purdy, like I said, he did look good, but he also was not. The defense wasn't prepared for him to be in there.
Right.
So you get a little film on him. Defenses start game planning. They start taking away their run and this and that and disguising things. So we'll see where it goes.
I feel bad for Jimmy G, man. And dude, they didn't even want him. And every time he gets going, he gets hurt.
Yep.
And he's a good quarterback.
He is, but that's why everybody wants to keep moving on from him because you
can't trust.
What was your saying last week?
The best ability is your availability.
That's right, and he can't be available for 16 games.
Right.
And in the NFL, you need 6 if you want to go in the playoff. Actually, 17 now.
Yeah.
But then also you got to add on 2 or 3 playoff games. So if you can't be available for 20 games,
can't really trust you to sign you and give you the big bucks.
You can't give you that big money.
Right.
But he's always done good when he's out there. He's a winner.
He is. He's good. He's not great. He doesn't make the great.
He's not flashy, but
great throws. But he makes the good throws. He makes the correct decisions. He takes a little too many chances, considering his arm strength, his arm talent. But still a good quarterback, man.
Yep.
Still a good quarterback.
And Shanahan knows how to use him.
Yeah.
And I think that is one thing that's going to help Purdy is who his head coach is.
Right.
And his head coach will know how to
play on his strengths.
Yes, game plan around his abilities. And,
exactly.
And that's important. So
extremely important.
My Giants are looking like what I expected them to be.
Of course, they're ahead of where we thought they would.
They pulled out the tie, but now they got the Eagles next week, and
they got a tough.
And then they got Washington.
Then
they played Washington. Washington's on a bye. They got to go play the Eagles, and then they got to turn around and play Washington again after Washington's bye.
Right.
So but no, they're ahead of schedule. But I early on in the season when they were 7-2, and everybody thought they were a Super Bowl contender, and now they're 0-2-1 in their last 3 games.
No, we saw through them smoke and mirrors. But Thibodeau looks good.
Yeah. Well, he made a hell of a play.
I thought he was gonna. If I had to pick a bust, I was picking him as my bust.
Right.
But right now he looks pretty good. I think I was, on the grading scale, PFS grading scale, Aiden Hutchinson's winning.
Right.
The battle between him, Thibodeau, and Walker.
Yeah.
In Jags, but Thibodeau's graded higher than both of them on
win rate.
On win rate, I couldn't remember what it was.
It's that one that's hard to say. That pass rush, because I want to say pass. The pass rush win rate, which is basically it's not just sacks. So it's getting in the backfield,
beating pressures, beating
your lineman, and
they take it play by play. Like they discount. Like if an offensive tackle gets tripped and you beat your man, they discount your grade. They look at every single play.
Right. Yeah. So
they are definitely doing things differently from a.
He's actually, I don't know if he's top 5 in that category in the NFL or top 10, but he's up there.
Yeah.
In that category, I think Myles Garrett.
Hutchinson's got the most sacks out of all of
Yeah,
them.
the rookies, and that's what
And the
ultimately.
splash plays.
Yeah, ultimately that's what
Yeah.
people want to focus on is the sacks or the picks or the fumbles.
Nobody gives a lot of credit to the pressures.
Right, and that's why you toasted Will Anderson earlier, and that's one thing that it is actually a hell of a stat because it does have such impact. That quarterback might have to throw it a second earlier than he wanted to. The receiver hadn't made his break yet, so it's not a sack, but it's an incompletion.
Right.
So it has a huge impact on the game. You just don't see it in the stat sheet. You're like, you pull up the stats. What are you going to look for? How many sacks did Will have?
Where's Will been all game?
Oh, damn, he hadn't done anything. But then you look at the tape, and it's like he's in the backfield harassing that quarterback, getting him uncomfortable.
Double, triple teams if you count chip blocks from tight ends and running backs. He clearly earned that, and with very little holding penalties called. Which
right. Well, and that's the thing about Thibodeau, that
he draws a lot of penalties.
He does draw a lot of penalties, but there's also a lot that don't get called.
Yeah.
But that was one thing that Wink Martindale called out was that, because people were asking, where's the sacks? And Wink said, well, look at how many holding calls he's had drawn on him.
Yeah, he can drop them hips, man.
Yeah.
He can drop them hips.
And now the Giants got Ojulari back, who's been out. He set our rookie record last year for sacks. He's back now. Sunday was his first game.
Look, I didn't.
You wasn't opening the door. You wasn't opening the door for the Giants section?
No, we ain't going no 10 more minutes talking about the Giants.
Yeah,
you're going to have to stop.
You started it.
Well, I was just giving your boy credit because I want to talk about Aiden Hutchinson a little bit.
No, Ojulari being back, though, that'll help Thibodeau. But no, Aiden's done. And, like I said, I'm a fan of
a lot of people had him
Campbell
chosen as a potential bust, but he's definitely
he's been good.
He's been big. And my Vikings are still winning.
Yep,
they're still winning 9-0 on one touchdown games, which last year it was the complete opposite.
Yep.
So they're still winning, and they have the easiest schedule in the NFL on the way out.
Yeah. In the NFC, I think right now it's a 3-horse race between the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Vikings. Well, San Fran was about to sneak in there.
Yeah, but
I don't know now if they lost Jimmy G.
I'm discounting.
I mean, they've got
Jimmy.
They've got.
Of course, they might bring in Baker.
No, that's what I said earlier. He's going to be the next quarterback.
Yeah, he ain't going to tell you. He ain't going to. Now, the thing about Baker, though, let's talk about Baker a minute.
Okay.
I think Baker looked pretty decent in Cleveland because he was masked by a decent team.
Right.
And San Fran can mask him.
Yeah, because Cleveland had the defense.
Yeah, San Fran has the defense.
They've got an all-world defense. I mean, look what they did to Tua this weekend. I mean, they had him. I ain't never seen Tua that inaccurate.
Yeah,
in any game I've ever, and I've watched just about every.
Couldn't set his feet, he couldn't get comfortable in the pocket.
Yeah, and I think he wanted to win for Coach McDaniel so bad that his adrenaline, because even when he had time, he was airmailing, and you don't never see Tua airmail.
Right.
But it was they were in his head apparently.
Yeah, San Fran has that front seven that'll do it to you.
Yep. The Jets got exposed a little bit. They still have a great defense, but. Mike White ain't.
I mean, he's putting up good numbers, but yeah, he's not exactly a franchise guy, for sure.
What else happening? Any big injuries in the NFL this weekend?
Yeah, there was some. Kenneth Walker got hurt.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson hurt his knee. Of course, Jimmy G, who we were talking about, broke his foot.
His is day to day.
Well, I saw week to week, but I think Huntley.
Well, last year Huntley put up some ugly numbers in his absence. So
Huntley's a good quarterback.
Lamar's starting to, that running catching up to you.
Yeah, right. And we've had that discussion.
That's it, man. It's catching up to him now. Justin Fields is built different, but Cam Newton was built different. Look at that shoulder.
It's going to catch up to you.
I mean, the NFL, it's just no joke, man.
Right.
You can't run your quarterback that much. You just can't. You can for 3-4 years.
Yeah, but then that.
But if that's all you want out of your the face of your franchise, then okay,
right.
Run him exclusively. Now Chicago's running Justin Fields crazy. No,
yeah.
I mean,
it's.
I think Baltimore at least allows allows him to set up.
They have less design plays.
Yeah, exactly.
His are more, there's
Improv.
nothing open, so I'm going to run. And usually when that's the case, you can protect yourself if it's a scramble drill. But the designed runs, it's harder.
It's open
hard,
game.
Yeah, it's hard to protect yourself on a designed run because you are the running back on that play.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, well let's wrap up this portion and let's head over to the bar.
Yep.
We'll taste that horse soldier and then we'll rate that shit. See you at the bar.
4, 3, 2,
Welcome to Kolby's Bar, and it's time to rate that shit.
Yes, it is. We've got a horse soldier. This was sent in by one of our listeners, Daddy D.
Daddy D.
Yep, at YOLO Ty, BEERN. So he wanted us to try this horse soldier. He's got a son that's in the military, and he liked the story, and talked to the guy at the store about it, and he told him a little bit about it. And so I went online and did some more research on it, and it actually is pretty interesting story. It's made by the American Freedom Distillery, and it's veterans that started this. They've been involved in every conflict since the Vietnam War. So everything that's happened since then, and then they really got brought together during 9/11. And so the horse soldier is actually, there were some special forces units that were going after the Taliban out in Afghanistan, and they could only get there on horseback. There's been some movies made about these soldiers, and so anyway, there's also a monument at Ground Zero that is pays tribute to the horse soldier. They recovered some steel from the World Trade Center after 9/11. And these gentlemen were able to acquire some of that steel that makes the mold that they make the bottle from. So yeah, they've got the premium, which is what we're going to try tonight, and it's a 87 proof. Then they've got their signature, which is a 95 proof. Then they also have their last one is called the Reserve, and it's the barrel strength. Okay. So the Reserve and the signature are basically the same. It's just one's taken off at the barrel strength, so it gives it a little different flavor, but the notes are still very similar.
And what's the price point?
Okay, so this one is 62, and then as you go up in proof, it goes up in price, 82, 92. So they're not cheap bourbons. They're all. Well,
I mean, most of these smaller run bourbons are no longer cheap anyway.
They're building a distillery in Somerset, Kentucky. That's going to be their main production plant. Right now, they're using one that's in Columbus, Ohio. It's the Middle West Spirits in Columbus, Ohio, does some of their work, and then the Urban Stillhouse in St. Petersburg, Florida. Is also
that's already kind of a knock on this brand for me if it's coming out of Columbus,
right?
Ohio. That's a hurdle to jump for me.
Yeah, I probably should have told you about that.
Go blue.
Well, why don't you go ahead and tell them about the rating system, and then we will get into tasting it and smelling it and see what we think of it.
So with that being said, 1 through 4 is our scale, and 1 we consider at the lowest level. It's just not good to us. We consider that a brown bag. Number 2, it's getting a little bit better, but yet it's still not something, because we prefer to drink everything the way you see it neat. So 2 would be a mixer. And number 3, it's getting a little bit better, maybe a high in proof, and you want to mellow it down a little bit. We call that on the rocks. And last but not least, like I said, the way that Kolby and I like to drink our bourbons, and that is neat. I like mine in a Glencairn. Kolby likes to drink every bourbon that he drinks first, neat, and then he might go to mixer or he might go to on the rocks.
Right.
I'm pretty much neat all the way across the board because I don't drink cheap stuff. Just kidding.
Well,
I do like an old fashioned.
Well, if you go somewhere and you're trying something for the first time, you don't know whether you like, and then you're not going to let it go to waste.
Yeah, exactly.
But sometimes you might have to mix it with something just to choke it down. So this one, like I mentioned, is 87 proof. So it's a little bit lower than what we typically prefer.
You know what though? I mean, it's
a nice amber color.
Yeah, as far as the color goes, it's a little bit beyond that goldish color for even the 80 proof. I'm a little impressed by the color. It looks a little more
like we had last week. It was almost a honey color instead of an amber, but this one's got a good amber color to it. Your nose is supposed to be toffee, sweet corn, and apple.
I don't get any sweet corn, but I am getting the toffee and the fruitiness, you know.
Yeah, a little apple.
Yeah.
And then your taste, they actually list quite a few tastes. Caramel, vanilla, toasted corn, honey, nutmeg, custard, with a hint of spicy yolk.
Spicy yolk.
And I don't know how you...
Oh, wow.
You got to be pretty impressive if you can get all those tastes.
I don't think I've gotten to that level yet.
You know, it doesn't have a whole lot of legs to it.
No,
So
I tell you what though, initially it's really good flavor to me. I got so many flavors, so I kind of agree with I got a lot of different flavors in that first
There
taste.
is a lot of flavor in there. I think I got the toasted corn first.
Man, that was a big pour.
Well, we're only doing one tonight, so I went a little heavy-handed.
It's not about getting me drunk, you know, it's about tasting. Yeah, I got man, I can't put my finger on the flavors. It's definitely very pleasant. It's a mild, smooth bourbon.
It is very smooth.
It's
with
got
a lot of
a lot
complexity.
of flavors to it.
I'm getting some corn, the nutmeg, a little bit of spice oak on the end.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting. I'm not getting the corn, but
That's what I got when
I think I get corn
and it
on
might,
a lot of those.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's in the mash. But and I think that's why I got it initially. You know, you're getting that corn smell and that taste right when it first hits your tongue.
I was looking for burnt corn. Didn't you say burnt corn?
Toasted.
Toasted corn. I was looking for toasted corn. I'm curious to see how you're going to rate this one.
It's a 3 for me.
Solid 3?
It's a 3. I like it. That's smooth. That's good.
Yeah. It's a solid 3 for me, too. I mean, I was wavering on a 3 point something.
You were leaning almost towards neat?
I mean, the upfront flavor had me on the neat, but then it was great up front, and then sort of it didn't have as much complexity on the back end to me.
Well, yeah, there's no burn, there's no hug, so it's. Let me taste it again.
That was a heavy pour, but let me taste a little bit more.
See if I would consider that a medium finish or. It's definitely not a long. I don't even think that's a medium finish.
It's a solid 3, man. That is definitely worthy.
Yeah.
A worthy $60 purchase.
Yeah, and I mean the story is great. It's the America's Response Monument is the name of the monument. I don't think I mentioned that earlier at Ground Zero. Like I said, I'm gonna get all 3 of them to have in my collection because I think they'll look great on the shelf sitting side by side. And if this one being their entry is any indication, the next 2
I'm excited for
should
the
be
next
even
couple,
better.
for sure.
So I'm gonna try to find, and we'll try to do them in order of going up in proof. So I'll try to have the signature for next week, and then we'll do the reserve the following week. But yeah, no, that's good bourbon.
That is good bourbon.
That is good.
It's good bourbon. Definitely. BB&B recommends that one for your shelf.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine, since that's the entry level. What's the proof of the single barrel?
The single barrel's in the 90s. 95.
That ain't bad. I thought.
So the signature is 95, and the reserve barrel strength's about 111.
Okay.
I guess that could vary a little bit.
All right. So 111's in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, and that should be good. Yeah, and they're supposed to be, sweets, caramels, and fruits and toffees and.
Did it say how aged those other?
Oh, yeah. Actually, I'm glad you asked that. So this horse soldier is 2 to 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think I might have mentioned it because we were talking about the color. But anyway, 2 to 4 years.
That's pretty impressive color for 2 to 4.
Yeah, yep. And then the other ones, the signature and the reserve, they don't give the exact age. They just say it's matured bourbons. So I'm assuming probably
Finish
7
them
years.
off in another charred barrel or anything? Is that
No, it's just it just the reserve and the reserve and the signature. Now they are non-chilled filtered.
for sure?
So yeah, we'll try to round us up a bottle of the signature for next week and see how it compares to this one. So yeah, recommend going out and getting the premium, the Horse Soldier.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Yep.
Good stuff. All right, you got something to toast with?
I do.
Or
I
not
got-
toast? We already did the toast. I mean to cheers with.
It's gonna be hard to go from Horse Soldier to Ezra. It'll be a little harsh on the toast.
All right, well, that's 2-0.
20. We
Nope,
didn't,
and-
we didn't really say nothing about.
No,
20.
we didn't. No, we didn't. That's
I mean,
kind of
that's
a kind of a milestone.
I guess we'll call 25.
25, our golden
Our
golden episode.
golden.
So that'll actually be next year for 25.
Will it? Yeah, it will be.
because
Yeah, exactly. Well, it may be a little further than that because if we don't take
if
it during
we
Christmas
don't,
week.
yeah, exactly. We'll have to. We ain't even talked about that yet. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, we'll have Heisman winner to talk about. We'll have
this-
more World Cup to talk about.
Yeah.
We won't be into bowl season yet.
Well, the NFL playoff picture should be in focus.
Yeah,
So,
cool.
yeah, no, this is an exciting time of year. A lot of things going on. We'll have National Signing Day, the early one coming up.
That's right.
So,
Transfer
transfer
portal,
all that
info.
chaos and activity. So, there's always stuff to talk about, and there's always bourbon to drink. That's what makes what we do so beautiful.
That's it. Well, follow, like, and share us.
Yeah.
Check
Check out
us.
our socials.
All the socials. If you're not looking, we got TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and then we got an email, bourbonbuzzandballin.pr@gmail.com. We're on all the Spotify's and Apple.
Yep.
So listen to us, like us, follow us, share our content. We appreciate it.
Yes.
And look forward to seeing and talking to you next week.
Daddy D, thanks for the Horse Soldier. Good selection, good choice.
Yeah,
We
good
appreciate
choice.
it.
Very good choice, Daddy D. Thank you.
Come have a glass with us.
Yep.
Cheers.
Cheers.